Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch. I am super excited about my guest today, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi, I'm Michelle Bosch, real estate investor, mom, wife, and host of the InFlow podcast. And I'm passionate about helping women invest in land and apartments. Join me each and every week for real estate investing strategies and interviews with thought leaders that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow for inflows of cash, inflows of ease, and inflows of grace in your life. Now, here on YouTube are the video versions of my podcast, and in order for you to get my latest information, please go ahead and subscribe. And now, let's go. Welcome, everyone. This is Michelle Bosch, co-creator of the Land Profit Generator. I am super excited to have here with me today Megan Autrey, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's just go ahead and get started. Like I said, I have my amazing, incredible rising star lady within the Land Profit Coaching Program, Megan Autrey, with us today. And I wanted to bring her on and really talk about, what does a leader in the making look like? She's an amazing trailblazer. I know that she is going to be at some point very soon in the near future inducted into our Land Profit Generator Hall of Fame. And I'm just excited to have her here. So Megan, I know that you are a firefighter mom, that wife, mom to two little girls, an outdoor, enthusiast, that you do, top level whitewater rafting, and you're an instructor, a guide. I mean, it's not like it's just a hobby, but you teach others how to do this. And that you've also been lately doing some full-time real estate investing, doing land flipping. So tell us a little bit about how did you, I want to go a little bit back into what got you to where you are right now, into the past, and tell us a little bit about how you grew up around money.
Sure. So I was thinking about this last night, actually. When I grew up, my dad, I'm trying to figure out how in depth to go. Money was tight for us growing up. It was really tight. Mm-hmm. And even into my teenage years, my dad switched careers. He went into finance and he actually became really successful. But I think that tight mindset just really carried over for us. And so going into adulthood, I think it sort of stunted me a little bit. I've sort of had what I call like a poverty mindset, or a spirit of poverty, I guess, if you will, where, you get something and you kind of want to you want to hold on to it and you don't want to take any risks because that's scary. And mm-hmm. So risk taking was not something that I ever really did. I'm kind of a type A rule follower in the first place. So when it comes to money, especially, the way that I've grown up and the things that I learned even as a kid is like, you get it, you hold on to it, you save it. And so risk-taking was never, yeah.
And for us as women, we're hardwired for safety, for security. So even, that kind of like compounds the effect of like, wanting to hold on tight versus sometimes allowing money to flow.
Exactly, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your journey in real estate, land flipping. How did you find land flipping? How did you find us?
That's a great question. I'm really thankful that I did. I'll start with that. Real estate is not, nor has it ever been in my past, a thing for me. My mother, actually, who lives locally here, she is a real estate agent, and but she's never really loved the showing and selling of houses. She loves the idea of flipping and just having a project. She likes projects. Mm-hmm. And I think she stumbled upon, Jack was speaking at a local realtor group or something along those lines. I'm not really clear, but that's how she found out about it. And then she went to one of the Land Profit Generator live events. She got really pumped up and she came home and was like, you have to do this with me. And I'm like, I don't know anything about real estate. I'm like the last person that knows the first thing about real estate. she's like, well, but you're good at marketing and computers and stuff, and I want you to come along and do this with me. And of course I was like, this sounds too good to be true, and I don't even know what I'm doing. But yeah, okay, sure. I mean, at that point I was staying home with my kids, only working in the summer. So, I mean, I didn't really have anything to lose. And so that's how I found out about it.
Wonderful. No, that I always, just interested in, and fascinated by how people, find us, because, land flipping at the end of the day is a gap. I always say it's a gap in the real estate industry that others don't care to really explore or look at, because whenever whenever someone thinks about real estate, it's something else comes in mind, houses, multifamily, rehabbing, flipping, and so on and so forth. But land is something that I'm always curious to hear. Then so you go to that, you guys decide that this is something that you guys want to start with, and you go ahead and you start, and then what happens?
Well, being that I didn't know very much about real estate in general, a lot of the concepts were really kind of like just these bubbles in the air that I didn't fully understand. But I said, okay, well, I'm just going to do the steps and hope it works. Mm-hmm. And so that's essentially what we did. Unfortunately, we picked all the wrong counties and all the wrong places, and sent, instead of testing and all of that, it was just a lot of money in places that was not a good idea. And so we did. I mean, we were faithful with doing it for about a year, and it was about 8 months. And then I said, there's got to be, we're missing something. We're following the steps. I'm watching the videos. I mean, I understand that I'm learning as I go. But
so were the biggest struggles finding the areas, or did you get any deals under contract, and then or some of this, or selling stuff was what were the biggest struggles?
I would say just. The biggest struggle was understanding the process, for me at least. I can only speak to me. We did get a couple of properties under contract, and I said, okay, cool, we're going to sell it. And then I honestly, we had deals that we let go because I just didn't know what I was doing. And so, then we bit the bullet. We went to the fast track 2-day workshop. And after that, I was like, okay, I understand the process now. This makes sense. And that's when we really okay, all out, we're going to do this. And we decided to go ahead and just get the coach to have that professional guidance of somebody who does understand. And within, I guess, 3 months, we had deals, and now it's been deals. I mean, 2020 has been good so far.
From going to that 2-day, land profit maximizer workshop, to then deciding that you wanted to, this clicked, and I'm going to coaching, I definitely, want that guidance and support. But was there any fear? I mean, I know it's you and Tina doing it together. You guys are, an amazing, unbeatable team here. But what were some of the hesitations? What was in your mind? What were you thinking?
I was thinking that it really goes back to that spirit of poverty that I struggled with pretty much my whole life, and wanting to hold on to what we had. And so the idea of spending money to make money, to me, was a really big hurdle to overcome. And you hear it in business principles all the time. You have to spend money to make money. You have to take risks. That's where the profit is. But it's really, really hard when it's something that's so ingrained inside of you. And so that was definitely the biggest hurdle. And so both of us, through a lot of discussion, honestly, prayer, and just even consulting with family members and that sort of thing, it was a decision that we knew we needed to make. I think we were just looking for some validation in that decision. And in some places we got it, in other places we didn't, but just learning to weed through and know what voices to listen to. And so we took the dive and haven't looked back.
That's amazing. Now, how have things changed? You said now that you've been, you have one of our master coaches, actually, Mr. Mike Meyer. And
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he is a total rock star, total badass for sure. Now, how have things changed in terms of deals accepted, sales and profits? the moment that you decided, to have somebody really collapse time for you and help you in the process, gain mastery over this?
Yeah, I would say, things changed in like every area possible from what we were doing. We were following the steps, but we didn't have good systems in place, first of all. He helped from the small things, well, not really small, but like the basic things like picking counties and picking the right counties, to helping us understand, how to interpret numbers and response rates. And then I would say the biggest thing for me was just having the backup, like like when you think of a coach in exercise, you have somebody who's like, you can go exercise on your own, nobody's stopping you, but having that encouragement and that push and that person behind you, like cheering you on. I have had conversations.
You perfect form. At least my workout trainer gives it. That's not perfect form.
Yes, exactly. Weight in your heels, keep your back straight and your chest ups, all that. I've had conversations with sellers and with buyers that I would never have thought I was capable of, but just having that person with some knowledge behind me and then the encouragement. I have saved deals that I thought like, that's gone. Well, we just got paid on that deal last week. So
yeah, go ahead and give me an example of like one where, it was probably a back and forth negotiation and really having the support of a coach really made a difference. Maybe it's sure. That one or any other one that you want to talk about.
Yeah, that one's a perfect one and it's fresh. So I'll go with that one. But I had a seller with a really interesting kind of a niche property under contract. A very specific buyer would be needed. And so it was on the market for about a month and a half. And he called me up and said he wanted me to take it off the market. And he didn't understand that was going to happen. And this and that. He wanted out of the contract. And with my limited experience, I got really timid and I was kind of like, oh, okay, like I'll let the title company know. Well, Mike found out. He's like, what? No way. He's like, here's what you do. So he gave me some options and some talking points. And I went back to him and I will never forget sitting down. And of course, my kids are playing upstairs and I'm like, okay, they're occupied. I'm going to make this call. And honestly, I was shaking, but my voice, like you couldn't tell. And I got on the phone with him. I was very calm, cool, collected, matter of fact, laid everything out. I explained it a few times. And at the end of that conversation, he said, well, we'll just go ahead and keep things as they are. And, you can keep marketing the property and we'll just continue. And then within a week from that point, we had a buyer. And so,
How much did you net on that one?
That one was about $14,000, I think.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
That would have been $14,000 less.
Exactly. And that's what I'm learning is that those things that are scary, they're scary for a reason. It's because I've never done it before. But once I do it, it's like if you could just physically see like a little, like one of those thermometers or those things that you hit at the fair, when the thing goes up, it's like my confidence just boost, boom, through the roof.
Absolutely. Yeah. You start, when you have somebody that can walk you through that and you go and do it and it works, and even if it doesn't work, the next time it'll work, because it could have been that particular seller, would have not agreed, but maybe another one. And now you have that in your toolkit and that starts, like you said, bringing your cash confidence of being able to resolve any situation and any circumstance in a very creative way and knowing what to say, to make it happen at the end of the day. Now, can you tell us a little bit about, how much in profits have you had since then, and how many deals you've done and how many deals are in the pipeline right now?
Sure. So currently I have 7 properties under contract that I'm marketing. They're not as big as some of the ones that I've had. So, ebbs and flows, but we closed 5 deals since the beginning of the year. And total profit so far is, I'm going to give you just estimates because I don't remember, but about $44,000 in total profits. But we have 2 that are, one should close either Friday or Monday. And that one's going to be $23,000. And
bingo, boom.
Yes. And then another one, we just had a request for a for their closing date from the buyer. So it's all under contract from both ends. It's all at the title company. It won't close till the first week in April, but that'll be another $20,000.
Yeah. Now, how do you think, and we talked a little bit about this, but in this process of gaining mastery, Megan, how has it transformed like your mind, your faith, your heart, your life, your family?
That's a big question because a lot's happened in just a few months. And I think I'm still mentally trying to catch up and come to the realization. It's kind of amazing. As far as my family goes,
especially even like in your relationship with, with Tina, because you guys are working this together. I don't know if there's anything there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're complete opposites, which is actually great for business. It can be frustrating sometimes relationally, but we're so thankful for each other. Of course we bicker once in a while, but honestly, I think this has brought us together. It's given us both a confidence boost. And so, we're just not as anxious and more laid back, and we have fun. So, there's that. When we set goals at the live event in October, I really took that to heart, and I wrote out a whole bunch of goals for like 1 year and 5 year. And what is insane to me is that I'm already on track for so many of my 1 year goals that I thought like, well, I don't want to be too, like I want to aim big, but not so big that I can't hit it. And I'm on track to hit it before the 6-month mark, which is incredible. So obviously for my family, that's putting us in a position where we can talk about vacation over the summer. It's not like a big financial stress. Can we do it? Can we not? It's like, you know what? Like we've been working hard and like, we're okay. Let's do it. And that kind of freedom was something I didn't know was even on the horizon for us. So that's incredible.
That is, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And my faith, that's really the driving force behind everything that I do. I've known something big was coming for years. I just really felt that. Pray all the time, especially through this journey. Once we started it, like, please bless it. Please bless it. Mm-hmm. And, I'm putting everything that I can into it. I just hope that you would bless that. And he has, like, more than I could have imagined. And I think the biggest thing I'm learning now is that my dreams can be bigger. Like, they say dream big, and I thought I was dreaming big. And now I'm thinking, well, I can go bigger. Like, this is yes. Good, but
yeah, it's sometimes when we're there, you cannot even imagine that you could possibly even engineer a next level of growth, and it's not until exactly. you hit that next level that you're like, okay, this is an ongoing process. This is mastery for life. This is something that I can continue to evolve and learn. And once I've mastered this, maybe, I can, start trying other things. But for the most part, what you'll find is that if we pick a lane and we create a framework to create some diversity within that lane, that things will even grow even more exponentially. And that mentality, that mindset of growth will grow as well. It's not just the dollars in the bank account, but that will grow. And I always say that kind of has to supersede the bank account. And sometimes when we don't have it, at least for us with Jack, when we seek out mentors, we can kind of like really borrow some of that next level mindset from them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And kind of like use it to help us get to that next level. But, sometimes, I've been in the exact same spot like you, like where I'm like, I couldn't possibly imagine what could be next. And then you get there and you're like, oh my God, yes, there is a possibility to keep dreaming,
Absolutely. It's a very freeing feeling. Absolutely.
Yes. I cannot, unless you're experiencing it. It's even hard to describe with words, but freedom is probably a very good one, a very good word for sure. Now, what are you biggest mindset shift then has been, and I think you've mentioned it already, that you had to invest in yourself and bank in yourself in order to make money. Would you say that was the biggest mindset shift, or is there another one?
I think it would be that. And then just the level of confidence, which that's been more of like a stepping stone sort of process, but it took a big leap. Like when we decided to get the coaching, just knowing that there's somebody to bounce stuff off of, that you can run things by, you know, instead of just kind of shooting in the dark and hoping for the best, at least I have somebody I can go to when I'm like, oh, this is new, I don't know.
And now you're doing some, you know, I was just talking about this in our masterclass, you know, now you're doing some incredible, ridiculous jumps, quantum leaps in pretty much a 3 to 6 month period, you know,
Yes.
leaps that people sometimes take years, you know, to see. And that is fantastic. Like I said, I know you are a trailblazer for sure in your family, that, you know, sometimes we don't even think about it, but that we are breaking generational curses of, you know, poverty consciousness and really raising, you know, bringing an end to what was my family history from a point of view of money, and really creating a new beginning, you know, for our families. And I of course, I'm excited because you're a woman, you're a lady. So I'm even like, you know, you know, banking on you guys too, because I'm a big, you know, supporter of women. So, and Jack is the same. You know, we're raising a daughter here at home as well. So, so tell me about the future, the near future. I know you guys are excited about summer, but the future in general, what are you excited most about the future?
Oh man, so much. Well, my husband, who's a firefighter, you know, he'll have 20 years in coming up in a couple of years, and to be able to just say like, hey, you don't have to stay in that job if you don't want to, that's really cool. Like, hey, come do this with me. Like, let's go. You know, we've talked about what kind of schooling we want for our kids. And I do love the idea, even if for a time, to homeschool and just travel and have them learn through experience, and to be able to have that flexibility as a family and do it as a unit with no restrictions or time bonds. You know, that's huge. Gosh, that's such a big question, because like through my mind, I'm just running through like, well, all these things that I'm like, well, that'd be nice someday. That'd be nice someday. That's like, it might not be someday. It might be this day. It's a attainable thing. And so that's very exciting.
That's beautiful. Now, if you were to give, you know, one piece of advice, you know, to a woman or just to anyone out there, you know, what would that be?
I mean, if I was talking to, it might be easier if I think of it as talking to like myself a year ago.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to bet on yourself just because you don't have the experience, because the only way you gain experience is through experience. And so you have to start somewhere. I'll draw a little parallel for you, because I'm going to talk about something in a universe that I understand a lot better. I'm a guide instructor for whitewater, and it's a very male-dominated area. And so when we have female guides come out, some of the things that I'll talk to people about is, first of all, you're stronger than you think. But the second thing is, you know, we can do things, great things, but we are going to do them differently because we're different. And so like in the guiding world, I focus a lot more on skill and technique with women, because you're not going to be able to strong arm something the way that a man does. We're just not built the same, but that's okay. And in the end, oftentimes females make better guides because their skill and their technique is just on point out of necessity. So don't be afraid to just get out there, try new stuff, and figure out what works for you. Because if you're looking at other people and trying to figure out what they're doing, copying other people isn't going to work for you necessarily. But
unless it's a coach, then I would say model, you know, like they're modeling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, when we train people is, you know, you don't just ride in one boat with one guide instructor the whole training. You go in boats with different people, and you pick up skills and things from each person, try all the things, and then figure out what works for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because something's going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how do you incorporate, because I know you're also into health and wellness, how do you incorporate, you know, inflows of ease and grace in your life? Like, I know that, you know, you decided on coaching, and that's one way of bringing ease, for example, into your business, by being able to really lean on someone and stand on, someone else's shoulders and so on. But what else do you do on a daily basis to kind of like bring that ease and grace in your life and stay in faith like you did right now, throughout, the struggles at the beginning, and then turning the corner, once, Mike was, there with you, and so on and so forth?
Sure. I came to realize very quickly that I needed to do some things to keep myself on track and to keep myself sane. And so even though I'm not a morning person, I realized that with 2 small kids at home, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of women, if I wanted to have that time to do the things that I knew I needed to do, prayer, exercise, meditation, journaling, I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. And that was a really difficult adjustment for me. I'll just leave it at that. I could go into it, but yeah, I'm not a morning person.
I can relate. We are not morning people here either. So, but sometimes devotion to something, really makes a difference, and it permeates throughout your day, and it really affects the quality of your day. And when you stop doing it, you notice, how different it is. And you're like, okay, it's worth the effort. It's worth, doing it. Yeah, I noticed a lot of things kind of came together all at one time, but right after that coaching is when I decided, I'm going to start doing these things, these habits every day. And when I was getting up early, practicing my gratitude, saying my prayers, and getting a workout in, like you said, it permeates through your whole day. It changed my attitude, it changed my energy level, and I think that that's a big part of the success too, because it's easier for me to keep my mind focused, to get those systems, just get things, working the way that they should be without it always being like in response mode. It's just doing those daily things and respond when I need to. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if somebody was listening to us or watching us, and they were considering coaching, what would you say? What has been your experience? Would you recommend it?
I absolutely would, of course. It took us, the coaching was always on the table as an option, and it took us over a year to finally say, I think we need this. And to be honest with you, the biggest hurdle for it was spending that money. But we spent that much money making mistakes along the way that we could have avoided in the first place. And I mean, that was a lesson learned. So to me, I would just say, I've learned that lesson for you. Just invest in yourself and having a mentor and somebody to help you, because it will pay you back. It will pay you back probably sooner than you think, to just do it well from the beginning.
Yeah. Now, and if anyone is listening and watching this, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about our Land Profit Coaching Program, you can always go to landconsultation.com, and schedule a call with our team and see if it's, if it's a fit. It's not a fit for everyone. It was a fit for Megan and for Tina. And they're seeing, amazing results. Now, one last thing, Megan, that I always ask everyone, if anyone would be interested in, getting in contact with you or learning more about what you're doing, or, where can people, contact you?
Facebook, obviously, that's a big one. But yeah, you can email me. It's lastingfreedomllc@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Megan, for, spending the last, 32 minutes of your life with me here, and I know that you have little children and that they're probably waiting for you. And thank you so much. It has been an honor. I am so excited. We keep watching your trajectory. We keep watching you, and just celebrating your successes. I love waking up, to your posts inside of the Land Profit Generator group. So thank you so very much for being so inspirational to other, women and men, that are, considering and that are working this land flipping business right now. Because you're really showing, what is possible. So I am so very grateful. It was an honor having you here with me today. And I think at some point I might have to even do a redo and have you and Tina as well, both of you, because I'd love to hear about, her perspective as well. So thank you so much.
Okay, well, thanks, Michelle. It was an honor to be on here, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash, inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.